Hi, Jiaru. Thank you so much for showing us your studio in such a amazing, performative way.
Thank you for being here. Hope it's not too noisy for everyone.
So yeah, this is great because although I think we knew each other from last year, right? Like right after I moved to Hong Kong, but this is my first time really kind of virtually visiting your studio and seeing your work like very comprehensively. So I've been like taking notes while looking at well in the past 20 minutes or so. So I actually have a lot of questions when I ask you about your work, about your practice. So why don't we start with this background image of my hair, which is also kind of the theme image of this virtual studio visit. And I also see um, this image in this studio visit you just shared with us. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, it's one of my latest work called Beige. It's called Untitled Office Bin.
Mm-hmm.
I use. I'm currently working as a research associate in CityU.
Mm-hmm.
I have to browse lots of materials about Hong Kong history, and I collect the materials that my boss doesn't want and use it to make my own piece. Yeah, it's
And
very. Mhm.
what is this image about? Because I see a lot of people kind of walking past a crossway.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, is I found this video about 1950s Hong Kong fashion,
Mm,
and the photographer likes to film the women's legs
I
walking on the street, like a
see.
long take, really long take, like from left to right, a very slow camera movement. I found that very interesting.
I
So
see.
I export all the um, image and then use some sort of image stitching software to stitch all the image together so the whole video can present as one single still.
I see. Also, this is like a screenshot from the whole video work.
Yeah, it's like it's generated from a video.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Cool. And is this kind of the one of the series you're working on, or because I see you're very interested in many like daily moments, many uh, mundane moments in daily life, no matter it is like collecting materials like this work, or because I also see myself in your work when we like hang out, because you also are very aware of you know what is happening around, and you're always taking out your cameras and recording and doing all kinds of documentation. So I'm very curious about like why you're so interested in daily life, or this is kind of the focus of your current work as well.
uh, I think it started as a habit. Like we grow up in a digital time, we all have cameras and smartphones. So I just developed this habit to capture random photos that I think is interesting, and then I form them into some sort of digital meditation material.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially after I moved to Hong Kong, is the rhythm is too fast. I need to transform this city landscape into some other vibe of thing, like slow motion image, or to find other vibe behind the scene,
I
I
see.
guess. Yeah.
So like for example, like the crack video we're watching right now, is this
Mhm.
part of your work, or you're kind of collecting those
This,
materials now?
this is another video work called Now at Least. It's just I've been depressed for a while, a few years ago in Hong Kong, and then I started this practice of watching seafood on the street. It's kind of weird, like because I'm a vegetarian, and
Yeah,
I found it very, how do you say, like interesting that people will show the seafood before they eat it, like display the living thing in the restaurant, and then people can choose it, and you can see how sick they are.
I see.
Yeah, and they all living in this very poor environment, very crowded or sick, and they don't know what their future is gonna be. Kind of remind me of Hong Kong.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also in the slides you're sharing with us, I see a lot of images, for example, from like from last summer, like from the protests, and also like for example, I remember there's a moment like you're eating noodles by the street side, and there's a lot of ambulance behind you. Is that also like recorded last year sometime?
Yes, I recorded it last year. I spent most of my time filming on the street last year because there was so many things happen on the streets, and I just feel like I have to be there to witness history or record something like an image documentary for myself. It's not like I plan to make artwork or something. I just have this instinct that I need to be there to see what's happening in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So I also see that the clips, like it's very pixelated.
This one?
But I think there's people on the streets that word processed in a way. And I see a lot of similar works or like similar style. So is this something you're currently focusing on, or can you share more about that?
Sorry, I lost your question. Wait, you mean the pixelated image?
Yeah, the pixelated images. It's also kind of like in motion.
Is it this one?
Oh, yeah, this one and also some other ones, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I try to figure out how to escape, how to avoid the Chinese censorship on the internet, just to share some information to my friend from the other side.
Yeah.
So I try all kinds of methods just to portray the AI in WeChat to recognize the photos are sensitive or not.
I see.
Yeah, and then I developed a whole bunch of image that it looks normal. I cover all the people and the core information, but I think people can still tell what happened.
And do you see those images you're producing as artworks or as like how do you see those works?
I think arts for me most of the time are like some sort of creative solution for problems in my head. So whenever I encounter problems, I just use art to try to fix it or try to comfort myself. So it's like a habit to me.
Yeah.
I consider them as my artwork because I make them.
Yeah. I see. But because I know you actually started your artistic career as more of a painter, or you're really trained in drawing, painting in a more traditional way. But now I see most of your work are really based on media and a lot of internet-based work, a lot of design-based work, a lot of time-based work. So do you want to share more of your previous work? Because I also see there are many paintings with very expressive strokes, with very heavy paint in your studio. So do you want to talk more about that and how's like your previous work influence what you're doing right now?
Yeah, because I have a very traditional fine art training background in Tsinghua University. They have this very traditional Russian style of art training. to their students. So I had a bunch of work that are live drawing, live painting. And then I stopped for a while after I come to Hong Kong and study creative media because I want to explore other media. I started to paint again recently,
Yeah.
like from last summer, because have been too much emotion going on, and then I feel lots of stress. I just found that the fast way to express is the old good painting. I just can't stop it. I started drawing right away when I wake up because I had these nightmares for months. Yeah, so I have to let them out quickly. That's why I have new series of paintings recently related to my nightmare and my experience from last year.
Because I personally really enjoy those your paintings, no matter the vibrant colors, and also it reminds me of how you process your digital works, like the color blocks, the strokes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have some sort of muscle memory or some, I don't know, like a pattern of my aesthetic. So they're kind of similar, like in a digital form or painting form, I guess. I like Francis Bacon a lot.
I can kind of see the influence from especially like those two works you're showing on the screen. Yeah. Well, while I'm asking questions, since we have like 20, 30 online audience as well, so feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and I can help read the questions, and later we can also do live Q&A later. So feel free to share your thoughts or any ideas with Jiaru and me here. Okay, so talking about the paintings also makes me curious about like your practice in the 3D forms, because like in your studio, I also see many sculptures and also a lot of objects you're collecting. So especially those gray ones, it's like a collective of objects. Yeah. Do you want to talk more about this? Because this is really different from your painting, even of your internet-based, screen-based works. So what are those? Can you share more about that?
These are like little things, small objects that I found in my everyday life. Kind of like hard to be recycled objects. Most of them are plastic, and I always have this fantasy about what future sculpture be like. And I think plastic is one of the materials that can make new sculpture of our time, because they are really difficult to be recycled and they survive on our planet for at least another 100 years. So I guess I just kind of collect all this dead body of plastic and then try to reconstruct them into a new object, like a statue of memory, evidence of my history. Because you can see all these details really clearly still, even when I cover them with this special spray.
Yeah. Oh, so the spray can really help the sculpture to last longer.
In one way, yes, and on the other way, I use this sculpture specifically because they only shine when you illuminate it directly. So you can only see the reflection from the lighting direction. Is one thing that I believe very close to what memory is to me. You can see it from a certain angle clearly, and then you most of the time it's invisible, but from a certain perspective it glows.
I see. Yeah, also makes me feel like you're doing kind of the archaeology of the future, but from a present perspective. Yeah. So are you showing the sculptures or are you planning to show the sculptures?
Show them. Yeah, sure. If there is an exhibition, I will
Yeah.
show them.
Yeah.
Curators.
Curators. Jiaru's calling for curators. I
Yeah.
see. Well, in the chat box, I have a question. So the question is, Jiaru, could you introduce some of your most recent works? What have you been interested in recently?
Recently, one is the beige object. Try to make new art object from trash, and then the other one is called beige image. It's like a sci-fi style video. So two projects are pretty new recently, and then some photography series, but it's not yet published. So, and then there is this ongoing work called Office Bin, because my research in the university is still happening. So this series will continue for a while.
So it sounds like your current work, like the research, is kind of helping you like creating new works in a way.
Yeah, I kind of get inspiration from everywhere. So whenever I'm alive, I will keep
Yeah.
making arts. Oh, I also trying this new flatten 360-degree drawing. For example, this image, if you put it in a 360 app, you can, in this room, is a painting that's surrounding you.
Oh, so means you can drag the image and it's actually like a panoramic.
Yeah. You know, all
Right.
the image we took from the 360 camera, when they flatten, it looks like this cool perspective to the image. I started to explore this type of drawing. I think it's interesting, give me a new sense of space on 2D surface.
I see. And well, this image particularly reminds me of like years ago when we were still using Windows and there's no really Apple products like that's commonly used.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you kind of uh like your computer is asleep, there's this kind of maze kind of environment, and this work really reminds me of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very basic brush and colors to make them, I guess.
And is there a particular theme you're like making or trying to express in this new form?
Mostly, I focused on the sense of space when I practicing this kind of drawing. I'm still exploring, I guess.
I also have questions related to other mediums of the work you're making, because we've been talking about like painting, sculptures, uh, internet-based work, even more high-tech work in a way. But how about the dance work I also see in your video? What is that?
This was a collaborative work with a dancer and another video artist, Dorothy Wong. The dancer is Eva Lin. We've working on this idea about how different the three of us are. We are really good friends. We planned this performance piece together. You can see here, Dorothy and I in charge of the visual part, the videos and the installation part, and then Eva do the choreography and the dancing part. Okay, co-ed dancer and another one. It represents the three of us. Yep.
And because the like the backdrop images, like the waves, are like did you make the backdrop images as well, or you're more collaborating like in what ways you're contributing to the work or like collaborating with other artists?
For this performance,
Yeah.
I made the sound and part of the video work. We did it separately, so you can see two canvas. We just one canvas for one person.
Yeah, because like in this work, and also the first 20 minutes of today's student visits, I see you as a like artist very interesting in performance as well. And also I guess you also made a video, I mean the music for this virtual studio visit, is that right?
Thanks to School of Creative Media, I had chance to explore all kinds of mediums, and I met some amazing professors. So I try to explore all kinds of different forms in terms of art making, you know, like sound arts, video installation, computer games, and programming, script writing. We do all kinds of things in this school. It's crazy. I love it. I produce lots of performance. I mean, I collaborated with many people. I met some cool musicians or performance artists in the last few years.
And can I ask, if this is not confidential, in what ways you want to collaborate with dancers or performers, or do you see yourself as a performative body as well, or do you want to be part of the performance, or do you want to be the person, the artist behind those actions?
I don't know. I'm a very introverted person. I have stage fright. I'm shaking now, you know.
Don't be.
So probably I would just contribute to the video part, sound parts, the idea parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like a director, who knows? Yeah, it depends. Wherever needs me.
Yeah. So I think we actually have already spent about 15 minutes on a student visit. So maybe it's time to open questions to our online audience. So if you have any thoughts you want to ask Jiaru, feel free just to unmute yourself, and we can just talk directly.
Yay! Questions. We only have 19 people here.
Saturday night. But I see many people are joining from outside of Hong Kong.
No questions.
Do you have any questions?
Hello.
Hi. Go.
Hey guys. I'm on MTR, so maybe the connection can be on and off. So if you cannot hear me, let me know. I have a question for Jiaru. We've talked about different medium that Jiaru uses in her works, including like oil painting, performances, and also installations. I've asked Jiaru this question before, but I want to know more if she comes up with more ideas now. Like, what's the let me think how to phrase it. What's the subject that she's interested in, that she's investigating on in her work? Because in Jiaru's work, you can see different aspects in daily life, as Anqi said. But I like to know if there's a specific topic or things of interest that Jiaru is focusing on at the moment.
I think I'm interested in myself mostly, like the relation between myself and the environment that I'm living in. I know it's a really broad topic, but I just think that I need to reconnect to myself and focus on what I really need to do with arts and life and everything. I'm not sure if that answers your question. Yeah.
Yes, sure. And I was wondering if this is also associated with the current stage of being stuck at home during COVID-19, or is it something that is bigger than the current situation?
This idea became really strong since last summer, and then it occupies my everyday life during the quarantine days. So I guess both. Yeah.
Thank you. And to follow up, I'm curious, how are you working at the moment during the quarantine situation? Were you able to collect enough materials for your work? And how are you handling everything?
As you know, I have another studio in Kennedy Town in Hot House. So before the virus, I mostly worked there. I started to bring some of the materials to this space since January. In this small space, I can be more focused on my own ideas, and I don't need to go to work, don't need to meet people. Actually, it's kind of perfect for me.
And are you able to like collect the no matter materials or capturing the like the moments you're looking for, or do you find like any difficulty collecting those materials?
I think I don't need to collect them on purpose. I just use whatever I have from everyday life to make my work. But for the painting, I of course brought some from her house, from my other studios.
So sounds like you're kind of spending your time on several different projects and also different mediums right now. Is that right?
Yeah, I know. I'm good at it.
Thank you, Gogo, for the question. And do we have any other questions from our audience? Or is there anything, Jiaru, you want to share? Or if you have questions for anything, we can help answer the artist. Maybe also we can share your work in the like your online work with our audience later on the Facebook page of the Facebook event page, or in the chat box, just in case anybody wanna know more about Jiaru's work.
Yeah, I think can follow my Instagram. Sometimes I post some of my updated work.
Yeah. Like Instagram, so people can, take a closer look at your work over there.
Do you see my name in this chat room?
Yeah, you can just tap in the chat box. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think it's also the quarantine days that I developed this habit of using Instagram.
I see. Because I also know like a lot of artists are not very used to use social media that much. But maybe the quarantine time gives us like enough space to think about. Maybe we can develop the work over there.
Yeah, virtual relationship.
Definitely. So if we do not have any other questions, maybe we will call it a night for the studio visit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if anybody has any last minute question, feel free just to speak out. So, well, thank you, Jiaru, and we're looking forward to knowing more about the upcoming projects, and hopefully there's exhibitions coming out as Hong Kong's kind of back to normal, and we're very excited to see works.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the normal thing, but yeah.
Well,
I have hope. Thank you, and Angie, and Gogo, and Parasite.
Okay, thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We will share the recording of tonight's studio visit on our YouTube channel, so you can go there to check out the full session tonight if you miss anything. All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.